You were listening to episode 139 of the Game Deflators Podcast. My name's John, and I'm joined by Ryan.
Hey, everybody, here at the Game Deflators Podcast, we like to talk about games we've recently picked up, games we're currently playing, and I'm calling you out in this week's Inflation Deflation Challenge.
That was pretty good. I was not expecting the voice change on that one.
This week we're playing Gun.Smoke.
On VNES. Yeah, dude, that's a game I played years and years ago before we started doing this, actually before I moved to Arizona. And I liked it back then, and I liked it even more now.
It was a good day for gaming.
It was. So this week we got quite a bit. We're going to have some discussions on the Nintendo Switch OLED, or OLED. And pretty much a comparison to that of the original, and just full-blown discussion on that. A Microsoft employee that stole like $10 million worth of gift cards in Bitcoin for the most part. So talk about that. And Sony just had their July State of Play, so a little discussion on that as well. And of course, we always start out with our currently playing and current pickups. So I'll go ahead and I'll tell you what I picked up. So this week I got Fishing Master World Tour on the Wii, because why not? It was $10, and Fishing Master World, or Fishing Master, was like $6, so why not upgrading it World Tour for $4 more? That worked out.
There you go.
So that was complete in box, and it was just, I think it's a Natsume game, I think, so it's just one of those things that whenever I see their games, I pick them up, typically if they're cheap. The other one I got was From Russia with Love on the GameCube, so back in the day when I used to work in a video game store and comic book store and all that, I think I brought this up before, my old manager would let me keep a lot of the different cases and such, so I had a From Russia with Love complete in box case for the most part without a game, so I picked that up for like, I don't know, $15, went ahead and tossed it in, so a loose game, put it in there, and now it's complete. And the other thing I got was Gadget Racers on the PlayStation 2. Similar situation. I had a full box, manual, all that good stuff, but no game. Went ahead and popped that in. Now I've got a complete in-box version. So that was good. And what else did I pick up? I think I got, it'll be coming in at some point, but I got Moss on the PlayStation 4. We'll talk about that in State of Play because of Moss 2 coming out. But yeah, I saw Moss. It was like $70, which is the lowest I've seen it in quite some time.
Oh, wow.
And in fact, it was $60. And the person, for like literally, I clicked on it. And right when I clicked on it, it switched to $69.99. I'm like, damn it. So still cheaper. There's a lot of versions on eBay sitting at like $90, $85 and such. So this was the lowest cost version that was on there. Their feedback was like 97%, so that's kind of like, not sure. But I think it's worth it. At least a risk, that is. And as far as what I am currently playing, I jumped back into Apex Legends this past week.
How's that new character?
I haven't played her yet. Valkyrie from, I guess it's Titanfall.
I guess it takes so much grinding to get points to unlock a character. You're probably not just sitting on a free character right now.
I'm not. And the thing is that the season, because it's been so long since I played, the season itself, is like 30 days left. So I haven't played a whole ton of it.
Did you get hit by the free Titanfall playlist bug?
No.
Had you heard of that?
No, I hadn't.
Oh, let me just interject that real quick, because I just heard, check out Layman Gaming on YouTube. They keep me informed all week long. So apparently the developers of Apex and Titanfall, they've been kind of not throwing too much attention at the Titanfall series since Apex has been coming out, because that's their current game and their moneymaker. But apparently there's situations that are so bad that you can't do matchmaking in Titanfall 1 or 2 anymore. It's basically almost impossible to get like a good game going, because like the servers are so rampant with like these awful bots and like these other things that people are doing to like deliberately kind of ruin the play of the game, and especially the matchmaking. So there's been a lot of people for a long time trying to tell them, hey, you guys need to fix this. Hey, you guys need to fix this. And they haven't done anything because they're putting all their time and attention into Apex. So they turned around and hacked Apex to ruin the matchmaking there. and put hashtag free Titanfall or fix Titanfall or something like that to try to hold this game ransom to force the devs to fix the old issues with the old games. So apparently that was a thing affecting a bunch of people for a while, because it's like, it sucks for regular people to try to get on and, like, you know, they just want to play a game at the end of the day, and then it's all messed up. So that sucks, but it's an interesting story. I was wondering, I was going to ask you if you'd played or if you'd seen that anywhere.
No, I haven't experienced anything crazy. I mean, I've had a few situations where, you know, I've had, say, like, I've jumped into a match and it's just been me, like on multiple occasions. I don't know if that's part of that bug or not, but that's kind of been my experience on multiple occasions where it's just been me jumping down or really launching into the game, and that kind of sucks. Now, it's cool because now you have the ability to just kind of quit on the main screen when you're dropping from dropship. So even before you go, it's like, oh, it's only me, quit. Like, that's it. So that's kind of nice now to have that ability. But yeah, so I played a little bit. I think the most I had was maybe 4 or 5 kills in one of my rounds. I actually won like 4 different matches in the last couple weeks, but I haven't been playing a whole ton. And that's primarily because I was playing some Biomutant. But the other main reason is I was watching a lot of Cobra Kai on Netflix. So I actually finished season 1 through 3 this past week, and that was it's a phenomenal show.
I haven't checked that out.
Really, dude, if you like Karate Kid, Cobra Kai is like right up the alley, dude. So yeah, we were doing that, and then my wife and I gave up on Dragon's Crown on PlayStation 3. I just can't get into it, man. Like, we put in a lot of hours into that game, and it's just one of those things that it's a dungeon crawler, but at the same time, it's just not very fun. Like, it's a very minimal story. The art is great. I definitely love that component. I definitely love like the overall gameplay, but there's not a whole lot going for the story, and it's just the same thing. Like, every time you go into a dungeon, the same exact process.
I was playing it on Vita a while ago, and I kind of didn't last very long with it. I was like, it looks cool, but it's kind of just whatever.
Yeah, it's just not, like, I don't even know why they remastered it. It's just not that fantastic. So, yeah, we kind of gave up on that, and we decided to boot up Ori and the Blind Forest. So we started playing that last night, got through several areas, and, dude, we're loving that game. Artistically, that game is great. Just the visuals of it, the battle system that's tied to it, the leveling system, the overall musical score that's behind that game as well. The story that we've experienced so far is just like this gut-wrenching start to the story, and then it just kind of puts you into this world as Ori, and dude, it's great. Like, I absolutely love it. I'm so happy it came to the Switch, because this is a game that I likely would have missed out on if I, because I don't have a GPU for my computer that's good yet, so I can start playing some of those higher end games. And yeah, I feel like I would have missed that one if it didn't come to Switch. So super stoked about it. Love Blind Forest so far, and cannot wait to get to Will o' the Wisps, I think.
I'm excited for this to be Angela's intro to like Metroidvania in general, because I think that like she'd really dig games like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and probably like some Metroid.
Yeah, I don't know if she's gonna like Castlevania per se, or like Metroid, but I think the games that are like this, where it's just that very colorful type of world that's a mix of the best of both worlds, hence the Metroidvania component of it. I think she's really going to dig that in general. One of the games that she and I talked about playing was Hollow Knight, doing that one together. But I think this will be a really good intro for sure, like you're saying. Yeah. Did you have any pickups?
Yeah, so I bought a bunch of non-game stuff.
Okay.
So I redid my like nerd room upstairs, and I got a new shelf, the kind of shelves John has. What kind of shelves are they?
It's like Atlantic Oscar media shelves, I think. I don't know if you got the same size that I did, but
yeah,
I get the it's like 720 DVD shelf, and it's like 3 tiers.
So I don't have that many games or anything remotely, but I do have a lot of figures that were crammed onto tiny shelves. So now I've been able to spread everything out more. I got some more Gunpla to build and put on some of those shelves. There's just not really any games out right now that I want to buy. Like, I was thinking about Mario Golf, Super Rush?
Yeah.
But the reviews on that were kind of middling, and I think that they'll probably make more content down the road, and I just don't feel like paying full price for something that I'll probably play a couple times and then just sit on. So maybe I'll get that later on down the road. But I have a friend who recently got back into painting for 40K Warhammer stuff. And him and I have always kind of been more into the painting than the actual playing of the tabletop. So I went out and got a bunch of paints and a unit of Grey Knights, because I've always wanted to paint some Grey Knights. So I got a Strike Squadron, and I'm going through and I'm going to start painting those. And then I was like, you know, maybe from here I could branch off into like maybe doing some painting of miniatures. You're always showing me your minis that you're painting for D&D now. So just trying to get back into that hobby a little bit. So that's been fun.
You know what you should do is paint D&D miniatures and then sell them to me.
See, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, I like the painting aspect. I could like maybe try to get better at doing that, and then doing like just some like selling some painted models, or trying to get into like doing commission painting or something. That could be like a fun side gig to work towards.
The only thing to consider with that, and I was talking to my brother about this because he does a lot of 4K miniature painting and such as well for different people. And I don't think he charges anybody for his just because he likes to do it. But you got to consider speed on that, right? So like, how long is it going to take you to paint that one figure, and what can you sell it for? Because you have to consider the cost of the actual miniature for one thing, and then the actual aspect of how much time does it take me to paint it to then sell it. So what's your time worth?
Yeah, I went to art school, John.
Yeah. Well, I get you. But like, what's your time worth in that respect, and what people are willing to pay? And what I've seen with D&D miniatures, something like what I showed you earlier, which don't say it because obviously, you know, wife listens to the podcast and whatnot. But that particular miniature, that bigger one that I painted, I mean, I've seen that go for like $60 or so, fully painted. But if you consider, that took me about 3 days of me having like not a crazy bunch of art experience, maybe 6 to 7 hours total of paint work. And the miniature itself starts at like $35, $40. So I would have to theoretically, if I was a crazy good painter, try and get that done within like an hour to make it worth it from a financial aspect.
I mean, the thing is though, like if you like the painting as a side gig, like, I mean, it's tough out there with commissioning artwork and stuff and knowing the value and not selling yourself for less. But I'm sure that a lot of people that do like mini painting and stuff, like, you know, that's what they want to spend their time doing anyways. So if they're going to make some money on the side, sometimes it's...
Yeah, especially if you enjoy it.
It depends on how detailed you get, and you're always going to get better faster the more you do it.
Yeah, and I was even thinking like the little miniatures, like if you got some kobolds or some kenkus or anything along those lines, which I had painted a kenku. The kenku took me maybe an hour to paint. The 2 tabaxi I painted took me maybe a couple hours to paint total. So, I mean, there is a, you know, at a point in time where like the little ones you can kind of flip for, you know, $10, $12, whatever it may be, for a smaller version. People are willing to pay for that just because of, I mean, it sucks. If you want to spend several hours doing that, that's more time for me to prep D&D than having to paint figures. So hence why I like to buy the boxes.
Yeah, so I got that. I've been working on that a little bit. I did get, my parents were cleaning out their house, and they had an old, one of those red Wiis.
Oh, yeah.
So,
like the 3rd generation version.
Yeah, the one that like came with Mario or whatever. So I got that now. So that's cool. And
wait,
then,
like the red Wii, like regular system, or the red one as in like the red and black mini version?
No, it's like a regular Wii, but it's red.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And then I think I'm going to follow your advice and probably pull the trigger and get one of those Mario Game & Watches soon so that I can get one, you know, while it's still at least just at regular retail.
Yeah, the Walmart down the road for me has them still, last I checked.
So I'll probably grab one of those. You know, I got some stuff that I want to get later this month, like the Playdate's coming out soon. We've already talked, I think last time, I think now we've both got like at least one box on reserve for the D&D Magic set that's going to drop. So stuff coming up in the future.
We'll have to crack open our packs together.
Yeah.
Like just kind of see like what we both come out with. You know, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, and I don't know, like I was probably going to use mine to like do some drafts with some friends. So I don't know that I'm just going to crack them all right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm going to crack mine open. So you're welcome to come over when I crack them
Maybe I'll
open.
take like half of them.
No, you have to have the... Well, no, you don't have to have the full deck. That's right. Or full box. So
usually it's like 3 or 4.
And it's like, I think it's 4 packs per person to draft. Yeah.
So, been doing some painting, been doing some waiting for stuff that I bought. This week, Sgdq was going on. I've never really watched any of that stuff, but after getting into check out Summoning Salt on YouTube, he makes great videos about the history of speedruns and stuff. And I heard his name dropped a bunch by some of the narrators and stuff. And I think he's gotten the word out pretty good because, I mean, that's definitely while I was watching. So I'm sure it brought some more people in to watch besides just me, but it was fun. I saw like some speedrun of like some Metroid Prime. I saw some, what else did I see? Golden Sun, Halo, a whole bunch of different stuff. And it was cool. It was cool seeing all these different speedrunners that have put all this time in, and all of them talking about like how different advances have been made through the community. Everybody seems so supportive. They made like, I think they raised like over $2 million or something for Doctors Without Borders. So that's a great cause. Shout outs to them. I'm definitely going to be paying more attention to that stuff in the future.
Well, definitely a lot going on for you, man. The only thing I didn't notice this week was Mario Odyssey or Persona.
Dude, I really feel like I'm going to start playing a video game any day now. It could happen.
Well, hopefully happen soon, man, because you're encroaching into month 7. And I still got to get you on that Blue's Clues, man. Still got to get you on it. So we'll have some before and after photos of Ryan's
Maybe
expressions.
I'll just give up on video games forever.
Well,
I'll just still show up to the podcast.
Still show up to the podcast, play a game here and there. Yeah, I think you can beat Odyssey. Odyssey's a quick beat, like for sure.
Yeah, I just need to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's holding me back.
I don't know. I'm kind of giving up on you at Persona. So I'm thinking if you don't beat Persona, you just got an hour of Blue's Clues, an hour of Spice Girls, the dancing game. And
I like dancing games.
Well, except it's with the control. So it's
it's fake dancing.
It's fake dancing game. It's like the old Bust a Groove games where you don't have the pad, you just got the control and you're hitting the buttons, which is still fun.
I like those on mobile.
Yeah, those are fun. So like just doing the control is good. I mean, Bust a Groove's a great game. In fact, I think we still have a copy out back home, but my brother I think still might have it. I don't know. I gotta look. Okay. So before we start, of course, find us on all of those lovely podcast applications out there, including the one you're listening to. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Overcast, CastBox, Podcast Guru.
I've got a new idea for people, too.
What's that?
If you like the way this episode sounded on your podcast platform of choice, go listen to it again on another one just to make sure you're getting the best quality on your platform. Do your consumer, due diligence to make sure you're getting the best experience, and leave us a rating on both ones, and in the comment tell us which one it sounded better on.
You're going to skew the listenership. That being said, Podcast Guru, whoever's catching us in Australia, thank you. Whoever it is, they're just like whole back catalog.
You know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are.
If you've listened this far into the podcast, we're talking about you.
Yeah, so feel free at this point to comment on one of our social media channels, Facebook or Instagram at The Game Deflators and Twitter at Game Deflators. And at some point, we'll get the website up. We got it up and running, but we got to update all the gaming stuff on there. But
there's a website.
Yeah, thegamedeflators.com.
We'll go that far.
Yeah, so we got thegamedeflators.com on that. And you can also find us, what's the other one? YouTube, which I really need to update.
You just uploaded a video.
No, my wife did. Oh, the Apex one I did upload.
Yeah.
So I was in a match the other day, and it was the most hilarious thing. So we got all the way to the end. It was just 3 teams, right? And I knock out one guy, and things are going great. This other guy that was with us, he runs off like an idiot. And he was playing well, but he runs off and gets killed, and the ring is starting to come in, and we're talking like final ring for the most part, and there's a rampart over there as well, and he's like, come on, you could save me, and I'm like, I'm not going over there to try and save you, like, it's just me. I had like 2 shields on at the time, and the ring is coming in, and you've got a rampart on your ass, and you want me to come and like grab you? Like, he wanted me to straight up try and revive him on the spot. I'm like, that's not happening, there's not enough time. So he dies, death box goes up, and there's no other places to get his death box back. So that wasn't going to happen. So me and the other guy are going through, and whoever, like the rampart takes out the other squad. So I was like, holy crap. Like, this is insane. Like, this guy's good, whoever we're playing against, or woman. And so I run forward to try and see if I can like flank the rampart, and they end up getting me. But our other guy was there shooting as well. Turns out the rampart's the only one left, and then it was only my guy left, and of course my death box down there. So I'm watching, and he throws all of his stuff down, like you see in the videos for like the boxing, where the two players that are left, they'll throw down all their stuff and they'll do the boxing match. So he's doing that. He throws down all of his stuff, and he's jumping around the ramparts trying to kill him, and then realizes, oh, he's not shooting back. So the rampart gives him a red shield, picks up another red shield. They both charge. And then the rampart keeps shooting him, and he has no weapons because he literally ran out of bullets. So there's nothing left for him. And he's just jumping around. And at some point, the rampart's like, all right, let's do this. Drops all the stuff. The guy on my team picks up the gun and shoots the rampart. I was like, oh my God, dude. Hilarious. So we ended up winning the match. And I'm sure that guy who was playing rampart was pissed. And his teammates were probably equally as pissed over the whole situation. Like, just take the win. Like, I get it. You want to do the boxing thing, but just take the flip and win.
Yeah.
Like, if you have the opportunity to do it, just do it. And so it was funny that, this guy did that. But yeah, that being said, that's on YouTube. That was pretty funny. And at some point, I got to upload prior podcast videos. It looks like Podbean has the ability for me to download the episode video and then just upload it to YouTube. It's just that each of them takes like 30, 40 minutes to upload to the internet, despite having fast internet.
That's just how YouTube is.
Yeah, so it's just a pain in the ass to go through that and have to put in all the, all the different things.
If you would like to listen on YouTube, let us know.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
make it worth the while.
We don't do a whole lot on there. Occasionally post videos of games that we're playing. But that all being said, this week we got some great articles. We're talking, of course, about the Nintendo Switch, Microsoft, and State of Play. So let's kick it off with the Nintendo Switch OLED hands-on review by IGN, and it's going to be Tom Marks. And we're going to compare it to the original here. So when I saw this release, I was pretty stoked at first, dude, because I was like, holy crap, that looks nice. White frame, bigger screen, like all that looks great.
It's just white Joy-Cons.
Oh, white Joy-Cons. Yeah, white Joy-Cons. You know what I mean. So the white interface on the edges. So all of that looked pretty phenomenal. I'm like, that looks sweet. Like, I would want that. And then I started reading into what they actually did. I was like, why does this benefit me in the slightest? Like, okay, expanded memory, cool. 64 gigs now instead of the 32. Ethernet port in the back, I don't care. I use Wi-Fi. The giant, like the extended screen, doesn't benefit me unless I'm playing handheld mode. The overall, I guess what else? The stand that's on there doesn't benefit me, right? Nothing works on that end for me because I'm not playing on a handheld version. So it looked like every single type of update that these guys made, like the battery life, for example, it's been a thing for a while now. That doesn't benefit me because I don't play handheld mode very often. When I do, I don't care like how fantastic the screen resolution is because it's a little tiny screen anyways. So, and I think it's thinner now. No, it's just a thinner edging. So it's literally like the same size Switch. It's just that
the screen is larger.
Yeah, it's just slightly larger, right? It's not that much larger. And of course, it's an OLED, or OLED. So it's a little nicer, right? In terms of overall brightness and everything else is tied to that. The thing that kind of frustrates me about this is, I would have looked into potentially selling my old Switch and picking up a new one if there was some sort of other benefit tied to this. For somebody like me, it makes 0 sense to pick up one of the new models of the Switch because none of the benefits that are tied to it truly affect me. And you might say, well, hey, it's 64 gigabytes now instead of 32. Okay, I can go pick up for, I think it's like 25 to 30 bucks. I can go get the expansion pack. And even if you say, well, go ahead and sell your old one and pick this one up. Okay, well now I'm paying an extra, 100 something bucks to try and pick up the new version of the Switch, because trade-in and selling a third party is not going to net me the exact amount of, $300 and then only have the $50 difference plus tax. I mean, you're looking at probably a $200 difference to upgrade if you're an existing Switch. Yeah. Think if I only sold my Switch for say $250, right? Which would be a pretty good price for that Switch. I'm sure I could sell for more. But say I get $250 out of it. That's a $100 difference plus the tax. So realistically, you're looking at
$50 in tax.
We'll say $125. Okay. We'll just go with that. So $125 for me to upgrade. Okay. Is it truly worth it for the extra memory when I can just pay?
Not for you.
Yeah, not for me, right? So new players, new Switch owners, yeah, this is fantastic. Like, this is probably the best thing that could have happened to it. But at the end of the day, Nintendo misses the mark here. And I think that what it really is that they know their customers too well. So Nintendo knows that no matter what, there's going to be people out there that are going to buy this thing anyways, even if they own a Switch.
John.
What?
I want it.
I know you want it. See, he's one of the people I'm talking about. So Nintendo knows that people like Ryan are going to buy this console because it's shiny and white and has like the new screen and whatnot. So they don't care to make like all of these crazy updates. Like they have definitely heard people say, and they've heard the market clamoring for, higher resolution on dock, fix the Joy-Con drift. Looking at, of course, the Ethernet port on the back, which I think is very minimal because they have the adapter. Like, there are various things that the market has said we would like to see, and Nintendo's like, here's a new stand, here's an Ethernet port that you don't need, here's 32 gigs of extra like internal storage where you could have just bought an extra SanDisk to put in there, or whatever you want to call it. Like the screen people have been wanting for a while, but these are very minimal efforts on Nintendo's part to create like this console. Like the market was anticipating something better than what was delivered, and you have your fanboys, they'll say, well, Nintendo never promised it. Yeah, they don't have to promise anything. The market is dictating what they want to see. Nintendo needs to listen to its customer base, and what it tells me is that Nintendo doesn't give a damn about its customer base. It just wants to keep throwing out the same stuff and just fully focused on profit, which I get. You're a company, you want to be fully focused on profit, but at some point you kind of have to, assist your customer base here and give them something that they want. I would have sold my old Switch if there was an upgrade to the overall like output of graphics on, like if there was a Switch Pro, like a definite Switch Pro with some sort of like 4K capability. I totally would have sold my old Switch and gone ahead and bought the new one. 100% end of the day. I would have, if it was $400, I would have been willing to upgrade, and get rid of the old one. They just know their customers too well. They know they're going to pay regardless, and they don't care.
Yeah, I think the day is coming. There will be a Switch Pro at some point. It has been ordained. It will happen. It didn't happen now.
Hey, if we talk about this 6 months from now, it'll happen. Yeah.
I'm with you. I understand everything you're saying, but I still want one. I don't want this one. I think this is a perfect excuse. This is a better excuse than like when I wanted to get the Let's Go Switch. I didn't, because it was sold out everywhere. But that would have been a dumb upgrade, purely just for the collector like skin, the limited skin on it. I think that now that there is going to be a significant change, it makes more sense. And I would totally get like some collector bundle, special edition, new Switch OLED version. And I think that that'll be totally worth it. And I'm all about that. I think the other thing is that you didn't address is that there's a huge market out there for multiple Switch ownership. Like, they really want to push the idea that, there's a Switch for everyone. And, eventually this one will probably push out the OG Switch, and we'll stop seeing that one available in like a year or two.
If that.
I don't know exactly what the timeline on that kind of stuff is, but like, this is a good reason, maybe not for you to sell your Switch and get a new one, but this is a good reason for, yeah, okay, I guess your brother should get his own Switch and they just came out with this new one, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I get it. And like if there's a way for me to sell, say, my old Switch at $350 locally, or even $300, and then come through and get the new one, I'd be willing to purchase the new one purely because new Joy-Cons, right? So I don't have to worry about... I haven't had Joy-Con drift yet, so I don't have to worry about that. But I wouldn't mind picking up the new one so long as I was able to sell my old one at market value, which is possible given the shortage of a lot of these consoles right now. But at the same time, I'm not confident that would happen. And it's not something I really need, right? I don't need to go out and buy the new OLED version of the Switch because it's just not necessary for me. If I need to upgrade my storage, I'll buy an extra, memory chip to put in there.
You think that eventually they upgrade OLED to the Switch Lite? Because the whole idea of the Switch Lite is that it's the cheap version.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to do anything with that.
But then they get to order just one screen. instead of having two different screens, one for the Switch OLED and one for the Switch Lite.
I think they'll probably keep the Switch Lite as is. I don't see them transitioning that because it is their lower, like, you know, entry level type of version.
But it's purely portable, and the OLED is for the purely portable upgrade.
And I feel like, yeah, I get it, but I feel like the Switch Lite is specific. Like, there's a customer base that's specific to that, right?
I guess if you watch the OLED, you'll just get the OLED.
Which is why it doesn't make sense that they would upgrade the docked version with the screen and everything, because if you have the portable exclusive version, like, it's your point, yeah, they should have upgraded the other one too, to Switch Lite, and, you know, maybe not mess with the memory, just update the screen and then phase out the Switch Lite. But why would you update only the docked version? That customer base, I think, is primarily kids. Is what I would say. Like, families that are buying a Switch Lite for multiple kids. It's a cheaper option. Each kid gets a Switch. Like, totally see where that is, that market. But yeah, I don't know if they'll update the Switch Lite anytime soon. I don't see a purpose to do that. And honestly, I don't think we're going to see a Switch Pro. Even though we can talk about this like every single few months moving forward, and it'll happen eventually, I don't think it's going to. Personally, why would they? We're in what, year 4, year 5, right, for this console, for the Switch? I don't remember when it was released.
17.
So yeah, we're in year 4 right now. There's no reason for them to make a Switch Pro anytime soon. They just put this on the market. If it'd be stupid of them to do anything else right now, just because it's going to cause confusion. You know, why release the OLED version of the Switch and then 6 months later, a year from now, release a new updated version?
2 years from now.
Maybe 2 years. Like, every 2 years sounds about right for this. Especially if this is their console moving forward. If Nintendo's decided, hey, this is performing so well,
we want 10 years of Switch.
Yeah, and which is possible, right? If you upgrade it and put in some
what
backwards...
they never did to the Wii to keep the Wii going.
Yeah, you put in backwards compatibility on this thing and have some sort of like Switch Pro or Switch 2 down the road, or Switch Wii U, whatever you want to call it. Switch U.
Man, I bet Nintendo can't wait to have a next generation and charge $70 a game.
Oh, yeah.
And then they never drop in price.
They're itching for it, man. Yeah, and they're like, we can do this? Okay. No, they'll just continue upgrading their consoles with a kickstand. Did you see the meme I posted on Facebook with Smithers? So it's the Simpsons episode with Malibu Stacy, where Malibu Stacy's become like too sexual oriented or something, and so Lisa decides to go out and make her own Malibu Stacy type of doll, which is supposed to be like this, you know, library, like literate type of character, and it's supposed to be like a Barbie doll or Malibu Stacy for everyone, right? And so she puts it out, and the original Malibu Stacy creator's like, no, we can't have this. Like, we need to like destroy him or get rid of him, whatever it may be. And so when they bring out like a new Malibu Stacy basically upon release of Lisa's doll, and she's like, look, it just has like, you know, this one feature, and then they're like, look, it has that one feature. So the meme I post, it's like Nintendo basically saying, look, we've released a new Switch, and Lisa's like, it's just the same Switch, the only thing is it has a new kickstand. And Smithers like, it has a new kickstand, and all the girls are going crazy, go grab it. So yeah, it's that's pretty much what it is, dude.
That was a long explanation of a meme, but I understand exactly what you're talking about, and I appreciate it.
That is the first time that I've gone through.
New kickstand.
Yeah, it is a killer new kickstand.
Like, it's just like with the Surface. Like, it's cool. It's got the multiple viewing angles. The one thing that really is dumb, and this makes even more apparent, is just like how much they need to put the charge port in a better place, because you can't charge it and use the kickstand at the same time, and it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, that's Nintendo thinking, right? Well, let's go into the next thing about talking about not thinking. Microsoft engineers stole $10 million by selling Xbox gift cards for Bitcoin.
So here, I'll start this off.
Well, and this is Natalie Clayton at PC Gamer.
Yeah. So the guy's name is, I'm going to do my best, Volodymyr Kovachik. And he was sentenced to 9 years in prison and will be charged a restitution of $8.3 million. Hey,
well, it's not bad. I mean, he netted $1.7 million.
Oh, man. Like, so this guy did a thing that you're not supposed to do. He embezzled money from Microsoft. And if you don't think that you're going to get caught stealing money, like, I'm sure some people get away with it, but I'm sure more people get caught. Like, I don't know why people are like, oh my God, I found this crazy exploit. I could be like a secret millionaire. Like, no, dude, you're going to get caught because you're going to do something dumb. And also because the relentless march of technology and bureaucracy and oversight means that there's people that get paid to find people like you. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to be smarter than them.
Well, what's crazy is like he created like this whole, well, he found an issue within Microsoft's like testing process on the back end. And like my company has a testing process on the back end for like free stuff, but it doesn't actually work, and it's only in the sandbox version. So I don't know where the hell this happened.
So the way that it works, it explains in the article. So like when you go to order something from like the store, and it's like you go through the process to make sure that everything works, but then it doesn't send you anything.
Yeah.
But for generating a code for like a gift card, it uses the correct code generation as the real gift card system. So obviously it's not going to ship you anything, but you could see the code, write it down, and use it. So he was basically, he started off doing that here and there. Then he got real bad and wrote like a script to do it for him so that he could do a bunch of them. Was turning around selling them on like third-party websites to trade for like Bitcoin and stuff at a huge like bulk sale for a discount, and just trying to stack money. And I mean, like the hardest part about doing any of that is like you're gonna have to find a way to like try to wash that money. Like you can't be like having all this extra cash and be working at a company like that. Like if Microsoft didn't catch you, then surely the IRS will at some point, and it's just all kinds of bad. And I mean, I got no sympathy for this guy. Yeah, like you did what you did, and you knew it was gonna happen one day.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. He took all this money and had no way to wash his money. So, yeah, I mean, he of course went with Bitcoin, but basically he used a wallet and all these other things that had like tracking capabilities to see like who he actually was. So with all that he did, and this, how smart he was to create like a script to like auto generate codes and, you know, sell $10 million. Like
$10 million in 2 years.
Yeah, think about how many gift cards you have to take within a 2-year period to make $10 million. And we're talking like, what, $10 to $25 and $50 gift cards? So you're chipping away, like, I'm not going to sit here and like do all the math, but you're slowly chipping away like at that money. You realize how long it takes to just get like $10,000 in doing that?
Well, so, that's why he had to make that bot.
Yeah, I know. So like he got greedy and didn't think of a way to, you know, actually launder his money the way that, you know, criminals launder it. So super white collar crime with no sort of, you know, thought process on how do I actually get away with this, and got caught. And so I think it's a pretty interesting story. I found this one the other day, and yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So tell us how you launder money. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let us know how you would have gotten away with it.
Yeah, right. Let us know on our social media.
If it weren't for those meddling Microsoft kids.
Oh my God, dude. But yeah, so that was a cool story, and we've got another interesting story that I've got set aside from next week's episode. So okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that. But last thing here that we got before we start talking about some Gunsmoke is the State of Play July 2021. All trailers and a complete recap. This is Brett Elston at, well, the PlayStation blog. So blog.playstation.
So, man, Sony doesn't go to E3 anymore. And this is what they give us. Man, this is just like, I didn't watch it, but just seeing like what's on, you know, this list, it's all kind of whatever, and all, you know, some stuff that we've seen before already, and just uninspired, man. Like, what happened to 3 years ago when you like made the audience get up and walk into a tent so some guy could play guitar, and then go to another tent so some guy could play some other instrument? Like, you were getting creative with it, and now it's just like, here's like a reel of games that are like, okay, like there's 2 or 3 games on here that I'm interested in, which means there's probably one on here that I'll actually play ever.
Yeah, I mean, I found a few of them to be interesting, not a whole bunch. I would say Moss 2, when I saw that trailer, I'm like, ah, shit, I better pick up Moss 1 right now on PS4. VR, just because it's going to go up. If you look at games like Gravity Rush, which actually has gone down, but games like Gravity Rush Remastered went for like crazy amounts of money because you had Gravity Rush 2. And because of the limited release. So I think Moss is one of those that's probably a pretty limited release to begin with. And now that it's on was on PS4 only, I don't see them putting that back out on PS5 outside of digital.
Well, how many of these games are even PS5 exclusives?
I think Moss 2 is supposed to be PS5 exclusive, which is good because that lets us know for sure the whole VR component down the road. Let's see. I don't think Fist was PS5 exclusive. I think Sifu. No, I don't mean exclusive. I mean on PS5 only. Like it could be on Xbox.
Maybe that Arcadegeddon.
Well, that's on Steam. And
is that on Steam also?
Oh no, sorry. I thought you said that was on Steam.
No, the Melee Hunters.
Yeah. I don't know, but Arcadegeddon, dude, that looks like a poor man's Fortnite. It's just not like that. Was just so uninspiring. Like it's a cool concept, like you're fighting in this like arcade type of setting. But it just didn't really draw me in. It was like, oh, great. Here's another battle royale type of multiplayer.
It's not a PlayStation mover.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you don't need a game right now to sell PS5s because they're selling anyways. That game is not pushing anybody to get to the front of that line.
Yeah, that doesn't. Fist, definitely, I feel like that would push me to get that, but it's not. It's not a mover,
like a
right?
full release AAA title either. Like,
exactly.
There's nothing on this list that says, "Hey, this was our groundbreaking E3 alternative that we did." Like, there's not a single title on here that I'm like,
you could argue
Horizon, God of War, anything that's like a big deal.
You could argue Moss to an extent, just because it is a very good game. And that would be a pretty good title. Like,
but
really
if that
push
was
out
like the headline, like the main thing they showed, that would be a disappointing show.
Yeah. Well, and so Fist, I really liked. Moss 2, obviously, I bought one, and I want to get Moss 2 once I get the arcade set or VR. Sifu I thought was pretty cool. I mean, honestly,
Sifu looks dope.
The concept of like your character getting older in a beat 'em up every time he gets KO'd is actually pretty cool. I didn't see what age you start at with this, but it's a really cool concept. I think
baby.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, right.
Start off as a baby crawling into a room, and if you could kill the first enemy,
right, you can't kill them because they just punt you in the face. It's like, now you're 5. Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. Or it starts off like the American Dream, and the baby has guns, so you just happen to be able to go through the whole game with guns. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool concept. Arcadegeddon didn't look good. What was the other one? I mean, we saw Last Judgment, so the sequel, I guess, to Judgment. That looked interesting, but again, to your point, not groundbreaking, not anything super crazy.
I think Demon Slayer looks pretty good.
It does.
They've done such a good job with bringing that anime art style to games now. Like the new Guilty Gear game that just came out looks so good. And I mean, Dragon Ball FighterZ from a few years ago looked great. I'm pretty sure that Kakarot game looked pretty good. Like, the fact that they could just make those games look so good makes me want to check Demon Slayer out at least a little bit. I do love that show, and I saw the movie, and the movie was great too.
Yeah, so you'd probably like the game, but don't get it until you beat Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
And then there was that Arena. Which one was it? The Demon Arena thing that's on like Steam. That one's on Steam. But basically, it's like
Hunter's Arena Legends.
Yeah,
it looks cool, but as soon as I was like, "Oh, this is just a Steam game getting ported," not interested anymore.
Well, so it's like Battle Royale Dark Souls with like enemies attacking you at the same time, like the demons attacking you. So it's a cool concept. Like overall, I thought it was pretty interesting. But it's your point. It's not grabbing me. It's not something that I'm going to like put everything down.
It's not new either.
Yeah,
Most
exactly.
It's
not new.
It's like Deathloop.
Yeah.
Deathloop looks cool. The more I see of Deathloop, the more interested in it I actually kind of am. But the more I feel like I understand what's going to be going on and everything. Like, I feel like I've seen this game to death already.
Yeah, we have. It'd be like seeing, Ghost of Tokyo or Ghostwire Tokyo.
Like, I'd like to see more of that because I have no idea what's happening in that game. The first trailer I saw for that looked great. The second trailer I saw for that, I was like, okay, now that I see what this gameplay kind of looks like, I'm not as interested. And I haven't seen anything. That was like last year.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot of that game. To your point, Deathloop, every single time I see Deathloop, I'm like, it's not, doesn't catch my interest. So, and some people, I mean, we're not excited for it, but there's some people out there that might be, and they may be looking forward to this game and really want to play it. But I've kind of stopped, I try to not buy games before they come out, but I always do for some stupid reason, like pre-orders and whatnot. So Biomutant, I think, is the most recent slap to the face I've received by buying a new game. And it's one of those things, right? You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, especially when you pre-order. Because, I mean, I could pre-order a special edition and it comes out and it's hot garbage. So I may continue pre-ordering games in that respect and then wait for the review and then just get my refund. Like, I might have to start doing that because I'm extremely frustrated with a lot of these new titles, and I haven't been excited for a lot of games coming out. And the ones that I am excited about, I'm just kind of like, I'm hesitant.
I would be like 80% more excited for this list of games if these were on Game Pass. And I could just try them out, and it wasn't like, oh, that looks interesting. Is it worth $60 to $70 to see if it pans out well for me or not? Yeah, I totally see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Well,
not that great. Sony needs to step it up. Like, they're in the driver's seat for this generation. Like, everybody's here waiting for them. But like, if they keep taking too long, I mean, I was just watching somebody the other day talking about there's only like 6 PS5 exclusive games, and none of them are like groundbreaking. Like Ratchet and Clank is like the new hot thing that came out, and I thought that was going to be a launch title, and it's like until they start committing to having awesome games on here, like, I'm just not here for it. And I guess there's no exclusive Xbox games. There's no game for the series that is not on Xbox One also.
Yeah, or PC.
Yeah.
In comparison. And, back to Arcadegeddon, we had talked about a while back, we had referenced that Sony has something like 16 or 20 new IPs that they're working on.
Yeah.
I'm remembering now as I was watching that trailer this morning for Arcadegeddon that it said new IP. So if this is one
out of 16.
Yeah,
now we got to see what all the other reveals are and hope they stack up better.
Yeah, because that just does not look that great. And if you're excited for it, great. But yeah, we're not excited.
If one of them is a new Sony IP Bejeweled clone, exclusive for PS5,
day one, and special edition copy of a giant random jewel, that'd be pretty interesting. But yeah, so let us know what you think about the state of play and whatever Sony has revealed this go around. I think the most excitement I've had is for Fist and Moss 2 on that. That's kind of where I stand. And Sifu to an extent. Also, dude, it might just be that we've just gotten to a point in our age where we've seen so many of these different games over the years that we're really kind of fishing for that real different experience compared to what we've seen. And that's why, like, I look at remasters and stuff. I'm like, it's a remaster, whatever. Like, I've got it on PlayStation 1 or whatever. Like, I don't care to replay that game. Chrono Cross is a different story. But there's a lot of remasters coming out where we're kind of just like, it's all right. There's a lot of games that are HD upgrades from like the last generation. It's like whatever. New games that are coming out that kind of just rehash the exact same type of experience. So I think we're getting at a point in our age where we just keep seeing these things. We're like, what is the difference in what I've already experienced in the past? What is not a rehash of prior games? And I guess we're waiting for that.
Yeah. Well, and it's like sometimes we get so focused in on like, oh man, another Call of Duty. Oh, another, even like another God of War or whatever. But it's like you hear, 16 new IPs, maybe some new stuff. And then it's like, oh wait, no, it's just the same genre, but just a different skin. It's just Fortnite, but with Osmosis Jones looking people.
Yeah. And
like, it's not really new.
And it's funny I say this, but like, because I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends since, sometime last year. But Apex, in my opinion, is a little different in what I've experienced, which is why I play them more so, right? Like, I don't play Warzone because Warzone is just more Call of Duty. You know, like that's why I'm not playing that. Fortnite, yeah, it's a different experience, but I'm not interested in Fortnite. I don't like a lot of, you know, I guess the age group that I would have to play with in Fortnite is a little younger than what I'm used to. Apex seems a little bit older.
I can't imagine trying to play Apex Legends and Minecraft at the same time in one game on a controller. That just seems like too much game.
Yeah,
that's what Fortnite is. Like, it's too much chaos.
Yeah, that's pretty much kind of.
I always forget about the building portion because I've never played like an shooter builder.
Well, and that's what kind of gets me, right? Is like you have these people that are like tearing things down and building up like buildings and walls and everything else in the middle of combat while getting shot. It's just way too much going on that I just don't care for it. You're right. Like it's pretty much Minecraft and a shooter at the same time. So yeah, Apex is a little different for me with the shield components and the special abilities. Like there's just enough difference in, you know, what's going on that I enjoy it. So yeah, but let us know what you think. Let's go ahead and jump into the inflation, deflation of this week. Gunsmoke.
You got it, partner.
It was developed by Capcom, published by Romstar. Funny enough, the name Romstar in North America. Designed by Yoshiki Akamoto, right? Did I get that right? Akamoto? Sure. Released in October of 1996, it looks like. And
sorry.
Yeah,
85. Why did I put 90?
Why did you put?
Did I put 96?
He does it again, folks. He has screwed me over again. God, Ryan. He does this on purpose, I swear. Yeah, I was looking at 96. I'm like, that's not right at all. Okay, we'll say 85 because Ryan is messed up. Is it 85, Ryan?
Yeah.
It's 85. October of 85. Where was your mind on 96?
I don't know.
Okay, screw me over. Does this all the time. Game type is a run and gun shooter, and it is a Western style. And reception upon release, it was one of the most popular arcade games in Japan, and I think we could see why after that. So we got a lot further than I did in the past, several levels through. Probably could have gone a little bit further, but the NES was acting up on the contacts on those pins, so I got to clean that bad boy up. But I mean, this is what you would expect, kind of like this top-down shooter in a way, where you have different enemies kind of firing at you from the top down, of course, and you pick up various weapons along the way. So you've got options for like a shotgun, machine gun, pistols, Magnum, a smart bomb, which we actually never, picked up at any point. And your overall goal is like to collect cash as you're going through in various weapon pickups. To try and fight a boss who is wanted at the end of a level. It does go for quite a bit, but as you're collecting cash, you can purchase a shotgun along the way for like 6,000, a machine gun for 15,000, I believe it was. Wanted poster, which I believe at that point triggers the enemy or the boss to come out. You can buy a horse for 20,000. So you just get these various items and boosts along the way while you collect cash, and with the end result of, of course, trying to survive various bullets coming your way and enemies kind of coming from all directions, from actual buildings to directly in front of you to jumping off of buildings in front of you, and just kind of making your way through the streets of this western area until you get to the boss. And I gotta say, man, it's been a while since I played that game, but it is just as good as I remembered it last time. Definitely enjoyed every aspect of it. The happy music, the actual controls are pretty phenomenal for an NES game, in my opinion, and it's just super easy to overall control with the shooting direction and such. So both buttons to fire straight, which we discovered later on, using B to fire to the left, A to fire to the right, and then the controls just moves very nicely, and the visuals are there for sure. So I'm very high on this game. I can tell you that particular copy, I remember exactly when I picked that copy of that game up. So I was walking around the flea market. I used to walk around.
It was 1996. It was fresh off the presses.
You're going to kill me, dude. So it was probably about, I would say more like 2013, roughly, in that range. Or 2013, 2014, around that area. And I remember in that particular flea market, there were a number of people that would sell specifically at the flea market. So they would literally walk around the flea market, pick up a bunch of crap from other people, go to their own booth and set it up with new labels and sell it at retail. So it was just right on the spot. Like, it could be right across from them. They would pick something up and throw it on their table for full price. right off the bat. They didn't care. And so I remember there was this one guy that always ran around. It was like competition in a sense, right? He was always running around trying to get stuff. So when I saw him at the flea market, I would make sure to pace myself ahead of him to be able to get the stuff quicker. And he never really caught on, I guess, because I got a lot of...
He was too busy hunting for deals.
He was too busy like talking to other stuff, like picking up random things. He primarily focused on video games, but if he saw like comics or toys, he would start digging through them and looking through all of that. So it kind of distracted him. I would pay attention to toys, but unless it was something that like really caught my attention, because we also dealt with that at the game store I worked at, I usually wouldn't grab it. I'd pick up comics occasionally at Magic, but in this particular instance, I walked up to a table where they had a stack of Nintendo games, and when I asked the guy, like, hey, what do you want? He was like, oh, $20. And I saw Gunsmoke on the top. I'm like, yep, here's $20. And I saw gold cartridges as well, which were my 2 Zelda carts. And I picked those up, was going through them, had already handed him $20, and I waited until this reseller came up. And I just kind of had the game stacked there. And he walks up, and his eyes just open. And he's reaching to pick it up. I'm like, nope. And I grabbed it and I walked away. And the look on his face, dude, when like just seeing like this stack of like Zelda and Gunsmoke, and like he knew right off the bat the Zelda carts, which is what caught his eye. And just like, no, I already paid the man. Walked away. It was so good. But yeah, man, I think that was a good day. I remember that day clearly, and there was a lot of pickups. I'll have to find some pictures of that particular day.
So you had your own bounty that day.
Oh, dude, it was fantastic. Dude,
you guys had a showdown.
I picked up so much stuff from that flea market. Like, I picked up my Conquerors for $20 from a resale shop, actually, that was in the market there. Like, they were on the interior. It had an inside booth, and all of their stuff is usually priced well above retail. But the mom that worked there had no idea what the prices were. The son did. And so I went ahead and like pulled out $20 as fast as I could, like paid the ATM fee and whatnot. I was that desperate. Paid the mom right away, and in a resale shop picked it up for $20. And the son just kind of looked as I handed over just one $20 bill and looked at me, and I walked out. No. And like, it was just that moment in time where he was just like, oh shit, like really, we just sold that. And it
John,
was $60.
wheeling and dealing.
Dude, it was $60 at that time. So, you know, he did the same thing. He'd go around in the morning before he opened. He'd poach whatever games he could and bring them into his own shop. So those types of guys at that market absolutely hated me. In fact, I know for a fact that our old co-host on here would tell me that those people were super angry whenever I came by and they saw me at the market that day.
I remember hearing those tales.
Yeah, they always hated it. So, yeah, I got a lot of deals at that place, dude. I'd say a good chunk of my game collection came from that flea market. And out here I've picked up a lot too, but not nearly as much as there. But overall, what are your thoughts on Gunsmoke?
I thought it was great. I thought it was super fun. I want to play it on an arcade machine with some big clacky buttons and my hand on a joystick, like, stick.
Yeah.
Arcade joystick.
Mm-hmm.
I think this game was awesome. When I was watching you play, because you start off with like dual pistols for your main gun, and you shoot at a diagonal, and you've got 2 shots that go at that diagonal angle a little bit apart. So you kind of have a little bit of spread to try to work your magic and kill some dudes. And at first I thought it was tied to your movement.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you had 2 buttons, and one would make you shoot one direction, one would make you shoot the other.
Yeah.
And then the different types of guns you get, the shotgun has like a wider spread. The machine gun just shoots more bullets. The Magnum, I think, is like an insta-kill because like there's this one like jumping guys that throw knives that like take too many bullets to really kill to be worth it. But the Magnum seems to knock them out pretty dead. If you die, you lose one, like whatever gun you had like equipped at that time, but you get to keep the other ones that you had purchased up to that point. John was saying, there's a bunch of stuff you could buy at the shop, but the more stuff you buy at the shop, the more it seems like you have to keep playing through the loop of the level to acquire enough money to eventually be able to buy the wanted posters so that you can kill the boss and move on to the next level. That's a cool mechanic. I really did enjoy this game, and I would love to play it in an arcade and play more of it in the future. Brass tacks. This is an affordable game. This game is like, hold on, I closed my laptop for some reason.
I've got it here, man. So
ahead.
complete in box, you're looking at $59.75, which for complete in box copy is actually really good. Peaked at $150 in July of 2014. It's trending downward on that, and then a loose copy right now is going to run you $19.99. That peaked at $24 in March of 2021, so not too long ago, and that one's also trending down. So it's stayed pretty on par at that $20 range for a while now, and I'd have to say at this price point, dude, I would say it's actually deflated at this price point. I think for what you're getting in this game and the types of games that are out there in the market on the Nintendo, this is right up there with some of the best of them, and I think it's definitely overlooked. So I'm gonna have to say it's deflated, dude. I would pay $25 for this game if I saw it.
Yeah, there are several different box arts out there. I'm not exactly sure which one is which. Some of them definitely look more worth a high price tag than the others. So I don't know if I'm going to go in the cool box art worth more money route with this one. Because for the most part, NES games are fine to just have. You don't need a box for an NES game. Yeah, $20, steal. I'd buy it. I don't even have an NES. I'd buy this for $20.
So you're on deflated as well for this one?
Yeah. Good deal.
I agree. So yeah, definitely. If you haven't checked out Gunsmoke, definitely check it out. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you're in that kind of like top-down shooter style of game, and it's got enough going for it that it is definitely fun. So we should probably mark our rating down on there on your laptop as deflated for whenever the hell we decide to update our website. But that being said, next week, dude, should be pretty fun. We're going to play some Gex 64 with my new Brawler 64 controller, and I think that should be a lot of fun. That game is one that I never have actually played. I played on the Game Boy.
I played it on the PlayStation.
You play on PlayStation? Yeah, I play on Game Boy Color.
I think that was
Game Boy.
Enter the Gecko.
Yeah, I think it was Enter the Gecko on Game Boy, wasn't it? I don't remember. Either way, I played it on Game Boy. You played it on PlayStation. We've never played on the N64. It should be pretty fun to hear those Gex references.
We'll work on our one-liners.
Yeah, we'll work on some one-liners next week on that one. And then next week, I'll give you a little sneak peek. We're going to be chatting about the N64 controller and why it's stupid, in my opinion. Maybe Ryan will talk about why he likes it.
I do like the N64 controller.
So conflicting opinions next week on the Game Deflators episode 140. But all of this being said, find us on social media again at the Game Deflators on Facebook and Instagram, at Game Deflators on Twitter. Find us on YouTube for old, outdated videos that we have not updated. Find us on thegamedeflators.com, and of course, listen to us on your favorite podcast application. This has been episode 139. My name is John.
I'm Ryan.
He had a long pause there, but thanks for listening.